Welcome to Fantasy Sports Live, brought to you by DraftDay.com. I am Crazy Gaby, and it's a TGIF, baby. We are all hanging out here on Friday afternoon, waiting for the doors to burst open, run out, enjoy the week. Okay, maybe not quite like that, but you kind of get the picture. We've got a full MLB slate today, unlike last night. Should be a lot of fun. Come on in. The water's fine. Let's get to it. Wow. That's all I can say is wow. Last night, Memphis over Oklahoma City again, and this game was like a carbon copy of the last one. You had an epic 4-point play at the end of regulation to kind of seal the deal and swing it into overtime. You had Memphis looking like they were going to run away with the game, and then all of a sudden OKC comes storming back and ties it up. I thought for sure Memphis was dead in the water this time. I didn't think they could pull it off in overtime for a second straight night. This team is so damn resilient, I will not be surprised in the slightest if they make it to the NBA Finals and represent the West. I'm in awe. I'm awestruck. Basically, the big takeaway here is if you're playing Oklahoma City Thunder players or Memphis Grizzlies players in your playoff contest for DFS, you are A-OK because these teams have a very short supply of players that provide the fantasy points, and these guys are on the court a bunch. The Los Angeles Clippers were over the Golden State Warriors, and that was business as usual. It's kind of what I predicted for this series. I thought Game 1 was an outlier, and I will not be surprised at all if this one is over in 5 games. Blake Griffin looks like he is going to be a dominant force for years to come. Kind of arriving, the coronation of Blake Griffin here in the playoffs. And not to be left out, DeAndre Jordan with a monster record-setting game. I believe he had 13 rebounds in the first half, tying Bob McAdoo's playoff record. Absolutely stellar stuff, so you can continue to look to the big men out there in Los Angeles as a source of value in your contests. Pacers are in big trouble. They have absolutely no shot. I'm sorry, guys. You look awful. This is the first Pacers playoff game I watched just because it's so damn ugly, and I don't like the Hawks, so why the hell would you pick that game to watch? I got a family. I got to divide up my time. I can't watch them all. So anyways, last night, I caught a little bit of this game, and let me tell you something. That offense is a behemoth. I mean, it is a monster. It's terrible. Frank Vogel, I'm sorry, dude. You got to go. If you can't get your players to play in the playoffs with the number 1 seed, if you can't cause them to rally together to develop some sort of continuity, you got to get out of there, my friend, because I'm sorry, you're just not cut out to be doing this. Main takeaway here is taking Atlanta Hawks players against the Indiana Pacers would have been a no-no earlier this season. Load them up. This team has no defensive identity whatsoever any longer. Kind of a quiet day in baseball with the smallest type slate, but Shane Victorino was activated sneakily from the 15-day disabled list. He was back out there. I believe he had like 1 hit, 1 run scored, and 5 at-bats, so not a great afternoon, but it was just nice to have him back there, and he definitely provides a major punch to the Red Sox lineup. So if you're looking at pitchers against the Red Sox moving forward or taking a Red Sox mini stack, you're going to definitely want to put him in the mix because, again, he just really anchors the upper part of that order, usually batting first or second. Over in the National Football League, the Carolina Panthers have picked up the 5th-year option on quarterback Cam Newton. They've locked him up through the 2015 season, and I'm excited to see where his development takes him. We all know he's been one of the better quarterbacks for fantasy for a long time because of those legs. The touchdown scoring can just really boost his value sky high. And I'm excited to see if he can develop. The only thing that really kind of worries me is that wide receiver core. They basically gutted it this season. Brandon LaFell is gone. He's to the Patriots. Steve Smith is gone. He's no longer with the team. I'm worried he's not going to have anybody of note outside of Greg Olsen to throw the ball to. Should be interesting to watch at the beginning of the DFS season. Today's top picks are brought to you by Josh Shepherdson. You can follow him on Twitter at BChad50, and he's going to be bringing you all the goods with his daily fantasy baseball clicks to pick article. That's just click, and you can pick. If you head over to fantasysportslive.com, you can check out that article right now, or you can click on the link to it in the box below. Josh says we need to be looking at 2 value pitchers tonight. Tim Hudson against Cleveland for $12,250 is the first one. He's yet to walk a batter in 4 starts. This guy is on fire with his control. At that price tag, you can really fit in all the big bats that you want tonight. Chris Archer, the other player you need to get in your lineup, $11,750 for a guy with a 50.7 ground ball rate, and he should mow down the White Sox, according to Josh. Now, if you're taking these guys, you're going to have to pay up for some big bats. Josh has all that info for you in his article, but he's also got 2 value bats that I was really impressed by, I really agreed with. I wanted to share them with you here. Brandon Moss for $9,450 against a right-hander, a weak right-hander at that, and Roberto Hernandez, formerly known as Fasta Carmona, and I have a fondness for this guy. He won me a lot of money last season. He's got excellent platoon splits. For those of you who don't know, platoon splits means if a lefty only hits righties well and only plays against righties, that kind of makes him a platoon player. That's what Brandon Moss is. Big left-handed bat, can crush the right-handers, doesn't really play against lefties. So look, you got to check out Brandon Moss tonight. Other guy you got to take a look at, Jason Werth. $9,550, and he crushes lefties at a fraction of the cost of a superstar. Those 2 guys, along with the 2 above referenced value pitchers, can definitely anchor your lineup, and you can basically play anybody else you want to. The options are limitless. Make sure you get them 4 in your lineup, and make sure you go check out Josh's article. My question of the day comes on the heels of Michael Pineda of the New York Yankees' 10-game banning, which essentially amounts to 2 starts, for having pine tar on his neck on national television, no less. It's crazy that he would think he could get away with that. But I digress. I want to know if you think the MLB should allow and regulate pine tar. Should pitchers be able to use it, especially when it gets cold? The argument can be made that it actually protects the batters by giving the pitchers their control back in that cold weather. Make sure they don't have an errant pitch, go hit a guy on the wrist, guy in the face, something like that. I think it's a better situation for baseball overall if they just allow it. I think it's been shown that it doesn't really influence the nasty stuff too much. It doesn't let it dive or go crazy when it's on its way to the mound like other substances can. I think it's interesting. I think they should look into it, and I want your comments. Leave them below, and let's discuss. I know you want up-to-date, relevant fantasy news delivered to you daily, so make sure you like and subscribe to this video. And thank you very much for watching Fantasy Sports Live. I am Crazy Gaby, reminding you to be a man and grow yourself a beard.